Oh hey, I'm Nicola Foti. You're watching Soundly Awake. If you're new here, welcome. And if you've been here, thanks for coming back. Picture it. You've been trying to learn a language for a while now, yet you hit a bump in the road. A lull in your motivation. It's just not as exciting anymore. Trust me, I've been there. So in the beginning, when you first decide to start learning a language, you're super motivated, you're super excited, you have all of the energy in the world to dedicate to learning this language that you want to learn. You're learning a ton of stuff super quickly because it's all new to you at that point. Like literally the smallest things are so novel that it's enough to keep your motivation going. And eventually you hit a wall and you're like, okay, somehow I used the entirety of my discipline. And you might feel like, I'm never going to learn this language. I thought I would be able to speak by now. Why can't I learn this language in 7 days like that one video title told me I could? And it's discouraging. And in those moments, you just need something to spice up your routine. You need something that's going to energize you again, that makes learning exciting again, like it was in the beginning. So how do you do that? Well, number one is expect it to happen. So I feel like knowing that that is just a reality and something that is completely normal in the learning process makes me less likely to give up because I know it's going to happen. I've felt it in Spanish, I've felt it in Italian, I've definitely felt it in Tagalog way earlier than normal, or way earlier than Spanish and Italian, I should say, because it's just way more different than English. It has not happened yet in Japanese. So I'm gonna stick a pin in that one. But it's gonna happen, and I know this. Number two, it's okay to abandon resources. For example, I have a Spanish notebook that I bought with the full intention of finishing it all the way through. It was fine, it was great for a textbook, but it felt more like a chore than like a rewarding learning experience. And I could in the future go back to it, but I had to be okay with the fact that it just really wasn't serving me at the moment. And so I abandoned it. No remorse. And I found other ways to expose myself to the language, like watching more YouTube videos in Spanish with the captions on in Spanish. I got different books to read that is like at a beginner level that I could read easily and feel like I'm progressing a lot faster than I felt when I was working out of the textbook. Number three, just switching up your resources in general. You don't have to completely abandon a particular resource, but I found that it benefits me once in a while to introduce new resources to keep things fresh. One of those new resources is the sponsor of today's video, Lingoda. With Lingoda, you can learn to speak a language with confidence. They have super small class sizes between 3 and 5 students, so you get the attention that you need to help your speaking level improve. And they have classes 24/7, so they can fit whatever your schedule may be. There are over 1,500 experienced teachers on Lingoda that cater to all levels, from beginner all the way up to advanced. You can choose from English, Business English, German, French, or Spanish. And you can start with a free 7-day trial. They also have this amazing program called the Language Sprint, super high intensity with group classes either every day or every other day. And if you don't miss a single class during the Language Sprint period, you get 50% of your money back. And if you do the super sprint and you don't miss any of the classes, you get 100% of your money back. She said immersion. She said we're rewarding your dedication with money back. This is ideal. Click the link in the description box to join the waiting list to the next sprint, which is happening very soon. So head on over to Lingoda to check it out. I've been taking classes myself and they're wonderful. I mean, iconic, truly. I'm just gonna say one more, just click it. No, I'll probably say it again later, but a second to last time. Okay, back to the list. 4. Okay, so you changed up some of your resources. You replaced a couple, you added a few new ones in. You're starting to feel a little fresh again, you know? So something I've found with the resources I use is trying to keep it a part of my daily routine. And that does not mean that I'm studying for 4 hours a day, 4 different languages. It's just, I don't do that. I just don't. But having a routine that I follow every morning is super helpful in keeping me motivated to keep learning. If there are a couple days where I feel off, which I mean, it happens, but it's that much harder to get back into the swing of things after I kind of have ignored it for a couple days or even a week. So read a paragraph instead of a chapter. Write 2 sentences instead of a whole journal entry. Watch a 10-minute YouTube video instead of an hour-and-a-half long movie in your target language. Whenever you're engaged in self-talk, try to switch languages. You know, you're walking around the house, you're like, oh, what did I come in here for? Try to say that in your target language. And then you'll start to build up these little mini packs of sentences that you could use. If you don't know how to say, what did I come in here for? Which is something clearly I say to myself all the time. I should make a video about language learning with ADHD. Anyway, if you don't know how to say it, use a reliable translator. Type it in and see how to say it, and then practice saying it a couple times over and over again to like drill it into your brain. If you're learning multiple languages, try to do that in all of your target languages, which is a relatively new realization to me because I do want to incorporate all of my target languages in my daily life. Since Spanish has the strongest current hold on me, I tend to only try to think in Spanish and then I forget about Italian and Japanese and Tagalog. But 5, be aware that you're gonna have to keep reminding yourself of these things. The thing about self-study and learning languages through your own determination, your own accountability, it is hard sometimes to hold yourself accountable because you don't have someone yelling at you to do the work. And so reminding yourself that you need to be the one to discipline you is something that I still tend to forget time to time. And I've been actively learning languages for a year and a half, like on a regular basis. That just reminded me of like my entire life, I've loved learning about languages, right? But I think I never really thought about putting the work in. And putting the work in makes it sound like it's hard work. I mean, it is work, but mostly it's just time and exposure. And that really applies to a lot of stuff too. Anything you want to learn or like any changes to your daily life that you want to make. It really, once you're in the routine, it doesn't really feel like work. It just feels like a part of your day. And when I break it up into smaller segments like that, like a day by day basis, week by week, month by month kind of thing, I don't scare myself by imagining the mountain of information that I need to learn to be fluent or to achieve any particular goal that takes time and dedication, because I don't really think it's helpful. I feel like the most helpful thing for me was forming little habits and then just knowing that in the future, little by little, I'm going to continue to keep learning. Number 6, remind yourself why you want to learn this language. I mean, obviously you picked it for a reason, and that reason could just simply be, I like the way that language sounds. I want to learn more about this culture. My significant other or my friends or my family speak this language, and so I want to be able to communicate with them in that language. Whatever it may be, reminding yourself of the why tends to kind of give you a little boost in motivation that you might need. And number 7, which is really important to me, and if we have similar brains, I think it will be helpful to you, but that is watch other people who are doing the thing you want to do. What I mean by that is I watch a ton of language YouTubers, and it doesn't even have to be people who talk about the language you're specifically learning. I watch this one girl, Polyglot Progress. She's learning Bulgarian. Will I ever learn Bulgarian? Probably not, but I love her videos because she has tips on how she keeps herself motivated, on like her own problem areas and times where she has stalled in her language learning process. I mean, there's so many people that I love watching them talk about their passions. And because we have the same passion in learning languages, it really doesn't matter what language that is. I love watching Luca Lampariello. He speaks 14 languages. Steve Kaufman speaks umpteen languages as well. Elise de Vega, who I shout out all the time. She's iconic, and I mean, I really like her personality too, so that helps. There's Urban Eve, Soundly Awake. But my point is, there's so many people who love the same things that you love. It gives it a community feeling, and anything with a community feeling is motivating to me. Like, you know you're not alone in this process, and a lot of people encounter the same obstacles that you're encountering. So that's it. Again, please check out Lingoda in the description box below. Do the sprint. Do the super sprint. I know you're gonna love it. Thank you to everyone on Patreon for supporting videos like this one. If you'd like to help support the channel as well, you can check it out at patreon.com/soundlyawake. And most importantly, don't give up. You got this. I believe in you. I believe in us. I believe in you because I believe in me. You know? And I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye.